Hey, what's going on YouTube? And welcome back to all my cloud scholars out there. My name is Kieran Tross, and today I want to show you and talk to you about variable inputs and then also variable validations within Terraform. So we're continuing with the Azure series for Terraform for Beginners. In today's video, I want to do a dive, right? So we've talked in previous videos about output values and local values. If you haven't seen any of those videos, I just suggest that you go back and watch some of the earlier ones. But this video is going to be concentrating on input variables. So what I have on the screen is the HashiCorp page, and it talks a little bit about input variables, and then why you would want to use input variables. And you're writing your code. There are certain things within your code, certain blocks of code, and certain resources that you want to control. And you want to say, okay, I only want to allow you to have a certain amount of resources. So let's say if you wanted to control what operating systems that people would choose for a virtual machine, you can. If you wanted to control the class of the virtual machine, if you only want B4s and D2s and certain things like that, you can do that as well. And this is pretty much how you would go about declaring a variable. So you would have variable, and then you would give it a name, and that would be in the quotes right here. And then you would have different types when it comes to variables. Now, when it comes to variables, there are different type of arguments that you would be taking, right? So there you have your default, which is the default value, which you can force for the variable, and you can give people the option of choosing something else. You have the type, right? Type can be a number of different things, and we're going to go into that. You have your description, specifies the input variable documentation. You have validation, which is what we're going to talk about today. And then you also have sensitive and nullable. So the different type of types out there, we were mentioned earlier, is string, number, and bool. And then within that, you have type constructs. So you can do a list, you can do a set, you could do a map, you could do an object, and you could do a tuple. Now, when it comes to validations in Terraform, right, for your variables, this was introduced in version 0.13.0, and pretty much validations consist of two options, which is your condition and then your error message. So your condition is, if this is true, then okay. If not, then here, produce the error message. Okay, so over at the Visual Studio Code, I want to show you exactly how we would go about setting up these variables and just kind of walking you through how this really works. So some of you are probably like, okay, I'm seeing variables, I'm not really understanding exactly why, right? So the thing about variables, they really ensure that values assigned meet specific criteria defined in advance. So they really help you out with that. And some of the great things about variable validations is that it brings about, and it helps, some of the advantages is for infrastructure as code developers. It brings about greater consistency. With variable validations, you ensure that acceptance, input values adhere to specific standards, error reduction, so you're not just writing code and then next thing you know, you're like, oh crap, something didn't go right and you didn't build out something the right way. So it helps you flag unacceptable variable inputs. It also enhances security. And improves the developer experience. So those are the four things that I would say comes top of mind when it comes to why you would want to go about doing variable validations and how this key feature really helps you out. So let's go ahead and let's start with creating some variables. So first variable I want to create, and I talked a little bit about it earlier, was the OS type. So I'll do variable OS type. OS type, and I could just do something like this. I could say type equals string, because remember in the PowerPoint we talked about the different things, the types. So back over to PowerPoint, you have the type right here, and then you have your different ones, which is string, number, or bool. So we have our type as string. I can put a description here if I wanted to. These are the allowed OS options, right? Then I can do something like validation, right? And this is where we have our condition and error message that I mentioned before. So our condition for this one would be contains, and I'd break it down like this, and I could say Windows, and I could say, I don't know, Let me just do Linux is fine. And I can do Linux. But before I close that out, I need to add this var.os underscore type, or I get an error message, and then error message, and this would be the OS you can choose must be Windows or Linux, and I say okay. So how would I go about testing that out and doing some type of validation for that? So one of the things I can do is just go to Terraform, and I'll do apply, and I do var, and I get OS underscore type. And if I just press enter, it should give me an error message. So it says invalid var option. The given var option OS type is not correctly specified. It must be a variable name and a value separated by equals. So what it's saying is I need to do equals, and then now I could put a value in. So let's just say if I put in something like, I don't know, red hat. It says failed to load hat as a plan file. It says error. No such file or directory. So it's giving me that. It really shouldn't be giving me that. So let me do this one more time. And I'm going to do something like, see if I put it in. All right, so I needed the quotes there, right? So that was one reason why I was getting that. But it says the OS you can choose must be Windows or Linux. This is exactly what it says here, right? So it says this was checked by the validation rule at variable TF5313. So I'm going to change this, and I'm now going to put Windows. So everything came right. It says Terraform performed the actions. It's going through my resource group, which is fine, but it didn't give me an error message, right, for that, right? So it was good. Basically, this is like a resource group that I needed to create that I removed and just put it back there. So I don't really care for that. So I'll just say whatever. I'll just do it so this way it doesn't come and bother again. So yeah, so we're good there. So that's one way you can do a variable. So let's try some more. So this way you can get some more practice, right? So I'm gonna do something a little bit more different. So I'm gonna take that out. Let's see. Okay, so let's do another variable, right? So we're gonna do variable, and we'll do location storage. Oops, I don't want that there. And then right here, I'll do type, and I'll say string, description. Nope, I don't want default. Description equals location permitted for storage. And then over here, I'll have validation. So validation, and what I'll do is I'll do condition equals contains, and I can have my different locations. So I can say East US, I could say West US, and then finally I can do Central US. And then here I need to space that out, and I do var dot location underscore storage, and then below that I need to say, nope, don't forget the error message. We got to have our error message, and location is not permitted. And then I'll say save, and then this way I now need to do Terraform apply var, and this one is location storage, and I can say equals UK South. So it says invalid value for variable. It says variable location storage var is UK South, location is not permitted. This was checked by validation rules. So now if I were to come back up and let's say we take this out and I just put East US and I put enter, I'm pretty sure I'll get green, and I'll probably, we talked about the, yeah, see, now it's talking about the resource group that I have, which I haven't applied yet. There's marketing resource group, right? So that's pretty much how you would do your variable validations. This is a short and sweet video. I just wanted to kind of show you exactly how you go about doing it. If it still doesn't make too much sense to you, it's fine. We're going to continue throughout this series, and I will be doing validations with more bigger projects. I just wanted to kind of show it to you in the simplest form so that this way it's easier for you to digest. So I want to thank you for watching this video. As always, if you haven't done so already, please smash and like that subscribe button, hit that subscribe button as well. Once again, my name is Kieran Tross, and my goal here at Cloud Scholars is to get you from scholar to consultant, and of course, consultant to expert. Thank you, and see you next time.